Sorry, what was like when I flushed it?
Oh, I don't know.
Sorry, I'm just gonna feel if there's any wetness. If there's any wetness. Does it feel wet at all? Like down below. Does it feel wet?
No.
No? No?
So, what I'm thinking is you might have just effectively weed around the catheter. We can try and put a bit more fluid into the catheter balloon, see if that works,
Okay, fine.
rather than do a change. If it's flushing, there's no actual concerns about the catheter itself. I'm not going to mess with it. I don't
I'm
really need
concerned about that myself.
Yeah, no, it's it'll be it's not the best thing.
but it's more, I'd rather not be poking around and messing around with it if it's working.
It's working.
Exactly.
If it's not, it's knackered.
Yep. So that's another 10 mils. I don't know if we're going to need to use the whole thing because we don't want to.
Like the balloons first.
Yeah. So let's go to use 4.
Okay.
See if that works.
Right, let me know if it hurts, okay?
That doesn't hurt. So far, no.
I think we're going to leave you be then. We're not going to mess around with it too much. And hopefully that will work and it will stop bypassing. Okay?
No. If it's broken, don't fix it.
If it's broken, we can fix it. That's the point. Right.
No, I just said if it's broken, we can fix it. Yeah.
Yep.
Should we just check?
Keep that.
Yeah, okay. I actually don't know. I don't know how
She'll be for a night bag anyway. Is that night bag?
Yeah. Okay. I can.
Do I have a catheter in now?
Yes.
Yes, yes. It's the catheter still in.
Capital to wait.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
We'll just yeah. We're just fiddling it about a bit just to
Yeah.
make sure it's.
Oh yes, you press about all day if you want.
Oh no. You're too kind, Maureen.
Maureen, are you able to bring your
I'm
leg?
not, you're helping me.
Are you able to bring
That's
your
you.
leg towards me at all? Just this leg. Or is that a bit of a struggle?
It's a bit of a struggle.
That's fine.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Are you okay with us with Vincent holding it as he is? I'm just having a look.
Yeah.
Just gonna try and shuffle your foot slightly, okay?
Mhm.
Pain? I'll stop.
Oh, it's okay.
There we go. Okay. That's fine. I'm gonna try and remove the pad. Ready? That's fine. If you just keep them.
You just like cancel it. But
Yeah, I'm just removing the pad at the moment, Maureen.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. There we go. And we'll be able to leave you be now. That would do it.
Yeah.
What other one?
Right.
What a lot of saliva.
I know.
It's
What a
like-
lot of fun. Very little. Right, that's fine. If you want to go and do that, I'll. Right, I'll cover you back up.
reminds me very much more of my daughter-in-law.
Oh.
Is that a good thing?
Yes, it's good.
Well, then I'm very happy about that.
And my son are due over next week.
Oh, lovely. Very nice.
You'll have to, you'll have to come in and see them.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Her name is Liz.
My name's Jasmine, not Liz. So that's fine. Right, there we
Yeah,
go.
it is. She's a lovely daughter-in-law, that's all that matters.
That is all that matters. Very important to have lovely family around you.
No.
Do you want me to cover you up completely, or just?
Well, you can cover me up here because it gets colder.
It does.
A little bit by myself. When everyone else abandons me.
Oh, I'm sure we don't abandon you. You might just disappear temporarily. Would you like the curtain open, Maureen?
Would I like to?
The curtain open. Would you like this to be open?
Oh, yes, you can leave that.
Absolutely.
Hello.
Hello.
It's all
There
right.
isn't any on your prescription.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, like, I don't know whether anyone has requested it. I will hand it over
Okay.
for someone to get it prescribed.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just if someone could just put it on the system that I've requested it, because I have requested it. If it hasn't been put on the system, then the doctor won't know to prescribe it. And I suppose everything has. I just thought maybe you'd just be able to bring some over, but I keep forgetting that it has to be prescribed by the
Yeah,
doctor. Because
yeah.
I'm under gastroenterology at the moment at the hospital. I
Yeah.
have been for about 18 months,
Uh-huh.
and I've got like various different issues with
Yeah.
like indigestion. So like last night I couldn't get to sleep till about 5 a.m. because of the indigestion, and
Yeah.
also especially the codeine is causing. Like my dad is allergic to penicillin and he can't take codeine because we've both got the same gastrointestinal issues.
Yeah.
So codeine causes gastrointestinal issues. Along with all the other medication I'm having, it's kind of making me feel, as well as the fact I've got a pelvic infection, it's causing me a lot of indigestion and it's
Yeah.
stopping me from sleeping. So if you could just mention it to them that I've requested it.
Yeah.
I have a few times, but maybe I haven't been like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know. I think you just have to keep asking and asking because
Yeah.
everyone's so busy and
Yeah.
they're managing a lot of patients, which I appreciate. So yeah, I
Yeah.
just hopefully after this they'll be able to request it.
Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
let them know. and get-
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Okay,
Thank
sorry
you.
about
It's
that.
okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
baking hot. I need like a fan or something. I miss my son. I wish they could bring my son in. There've been so many children visiting the ward, or so many children on the phone to their parents. I haven't even received a call. They haven't even facilitated a phone call with my son. I mean, how is that good for him? You know, there's loads of mothers who experience illnesses. There's loads of mums who experience illnesses. I think Maureen's kids are visiting next week. Then the woman 2 doors down to the left, she had her children on the phone today. The woman opposite had her 4-year-old son visiting. I mean, I just don't understand. Is that the message we want to give to kids, that we're not allowed to get ill, we can't ever be vulnerable? Because if we are, we're going to just be on our own. I mean, that's not life, is it? Life is about being there for each other. Life is about supporting each other through the difficult times. It's just a terrible message to give to a child that, you know, they can't even see their own mum because she's got, you know, a pelvic infection. I mean, it's not like I'm contagious. It's not like I'm writhing around, you know, screaming in agony. So it's child cruelty, to be honest. That's what it is. But like I say, everything done in the dark will come to the light. It just might take some time, but when you're staring real injustice in the face, and when everybody can see it, it won't take very long for those who are causing this level of distress and emotional damage and social damage to be held accountable. Because there's a lot of people who are aware of what's going on, they're just too afraid to speak up, or they don't feel like they have a voice, they don't feel like they have any power. But you have to speak up. If you experience, you know, clinical negligence, wrong-sized catheters, or wrong medication, or prescription errors, or not being given the medication you need for your health conditions, or, you know, not having your prescribed medication given to you, like the ascorbic acid and Gaviscon, you know, you have to speak up, because that's the only way you'll ever be heard. And if it's happening to me, it's happening to someone else. And if it's happening to someone else, it could happen to whoever's watching this, his family, or mothers, sisters, daughters, wives, husbands, partners, you know. When there's unfairness and injustice or neglect or abuse, if you don't target it, it just continues on, and eventually it will come back to you. Because that's just the way the world works. People think that they're invincible, but they're not. They're not invincible. Anyway, God sees everything. God sees everything. He sees the wrongdoing. And how not one single person in this hospital, I've been here for 7 days, not one single person has asked me how my son is, or has even mentioned that I have a son. You know, that is just psychological abuse. They know, they have it on my medical records, you know. But I'm not angry about it, because like I say, I'm exposing the wrongdoing. I'm exposing the abuse. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that it is that abuse. I'm a 32-year-old mother of 1. I've been in hospital for 7 days, and not one single person has asked me about whether any of my family's visiting me. Nobody's tried to get the phone working so that I can receive phone calls. So I'm just completely isolated on my own in this bed all day, on a medication that I've had an adverse reaction to. And I just think it's really, really abusive, actually. I mean, it's also not fair on my child, you know, above all else, because he's missing me. And he wants to know how I am. He'll know I'm in hospital. He'll overhear his grandparents talking about his mother being in the hospital, and like, there's no channel of communication between myself and them. So my son's going to be worrying about me and isn't going to know what's going on. You know, and it's not fair. And I'm speaking, and you know, the other mums in this ward are all mothers. They may not give a hoot about me, but they will give a hoot about my 3.5-year-old son. You know, and what's happening is wrong. I haven't committed a crime. Blood tests would not show any substances in my body. There's no reason why my son should not be able to phone me up in the hospital. You know, and there'll be some people watching this eventually who will probably smile listening to this because they don't like me, you know, or they've abused me and they're glad they've got away with it. But there will be others who will watch this, who will have maybe several children and will feel the pain that we're experiencing as a family. And then there'll be some that will listen to that video from my son's dad and will think, haha, she deserves it. Haha, she's going to live the rest of her life feeling threatened. And then there will be others who will listen to that video and who will think, that's just really, really nasty and abusive. And she didn't deserve that. She's been through enough. It's a miracle she's still standing. That's the last thing she needed. And maybe nobody will speak up, but like I say, everything that happens in the dark will eventually come to the light. And I have made it clear that anyone who's covering up things, anyone who's facilitating wrongdoing, who's being complicit in wrongdoing, especially when it comes to my child, you will not get away with it. And I would really urge you to stop, because what you're doing is fraudulent, it's illegal. And just because your name isn't on the dotted line, or just because you're not the face of the agency, doesn't mean that you won't be discovered from behind the scenes. Because the level of misconduct in my case, there's been over 150 agencies and parties and individuals, a lot of them acting in public office, who have directly targeted myself and my family. And you can gaslight me all you like, and you can make excuses all you like, but if what you've done is illegal, and if what you're continuing to do is illegal, and you're doing it just for the thrill of it, I would advise you to stop. Because there are enough people now who are aware of what's going on. And there are enough ethical, moral people in the world, I believe, that your behaviour may go on for much longer, but eventually you will have to face your punishment. You will have to face being held accountable for your actions. You will not threaten me, and you will not stop me from defending myself, and you will not stop me from putting forward my evidence and protecting my family. So threats won't work on me. So I would just urge anyone who is currently covering up for my child's father's wrongdoing and the threats which I've posted on my YouTube channel, anyone who's covering up for anyone else in this case who has directly targeted me, I would really strongly urge you to stop and to be a whistleblower and to speak up for the innocent, vulnerable people who are targeted by those more powerful than them who seek to exploit and abuse their power.
Oh, is that you want to take me? Let me get some books.
So, your pin is here as well.
Oh, you can hang on to that anyway.
Are you sure?
Yeah, sure. We've got, as I said, boxes full of them.
You're really sure.
Well, I'm going home in 15 minutes, so I'll be getting medium bloods.
They're horrible. They're really horrible when I get them from me. What size are they?
That's medium, they don't fit me. The large is empty. Would you mind just cancelling it?
I do it anyhow.
Thank you.
Anything for you.
We're off with this.
Anybody else will do it.
Thank you.
Man. No, they didn't cause me to stop. That's it, just setting it down. That light is gone out. The light is not gone out, it's still not on. It says that. Oh. Close of my curse. My love of it for me. Something else. And then the minute maybe. It's just good. And all the opportunity. But maybe. Opportunity. Looked at me. I close my curse. And I'm loving it for me. Yeah. Jeanette, from all your eyes. Every stitch.
So just for the record, I've gone outside to have a shower. Asked for a towel. The towels are only about half a metre big. They're enough to wrap around your hair, but even my hair they don't even cover. And then I've asked for a towel and there's none in the store cupboard. And in front of everybody, one of the female members of staff says, "Oh, sorry, we don't have any towels." And I just stare and I say, "So how am I supposed to clean myself?" She says, "Oh, no, sorry." And then there's a little baby with dad, elderly man and mum and someone else walking through the corridor, and I just say to her, "Well, I need to be able to clean my body. Like, I'm on antibiotics, they're making me overheated anyway. It's boiling in here, there's no air conditioning, there's no fan. It's a heat wave, I need to be able to shower." And she says, oh, okay, and just walks away. And then I explain to the mother, I say, I need to be able to have a shower because I'm overheating on these antibiotics. You can see the sweat beads on my face throughout these videos. And now she's gone, and I said, if you need to call one of the other, urology wards and see if the other departments in this hospital, which has like 50 different, departments, or call the caretaker or someone, please find me a towel. But I found that unusual because having worked in customer service myself, I would never ever ever think to deny a patient a basic human right to keep themselves clean and hygienic. So I'll let you know how it goes. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she's gone to get me a towel now, but I'll let you know how it goes. Hi. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Do you know what? I personally just think that every single patient in this ward, in this hospital, we are the vulnerable ones. And we all have a right to hold those who are holding power over us, giving us these pills, invading our private space. Yes, I understand that 99% of them are amazing angels, and they are saints, and they are trying to help the vulnerable in society, and they're underpaid and overstretched. But in any institution, there are always examples of misconduct. In any institution, there are always examples of the bad eggs who misuse their authority or who are negligent towards the most vulnerable in society. So me saying that I have a right to protect myself against that and expect that those who have a duty of care to me treat me with respect, i.e. don't in front of everyone publicly humiliate me by telling me that there are no towels and then not even offering to go and search in another department and then turning your back on me. Asking to be treated with respect is not the same as saying that everyone is terrible and I'm so ungrateful. It's not the same. It is just asking that those who are responsible for others are held accountable for their conduct, especially when there's groups and especially when you are dealing with people who are completely dependent on you. You know, Maureen should have had the right size catheter. You know, that is just unacceptable, to be honest. She was bypassing, you know, and I just, you know, I mean, it obviously, I'm sure it was an honest mistake, but I just think that that kind of thing is not okay. You know, if somebody has an acute illness and they're in pain and shouting out, and then you find out it's because of the catheter being the wrong size. I just, there needs to be more regulation around that because that's just not okay. But, like I say, the majority of nurses and doctors are very honest, hardworking people. And they're also busy and they are also underpaid and overstretched. We all know that. But if you don't speak up for the most vulnerable and set standards, then really there can be really negative consequences for people. Especially those who aren't able to advocate for themselves. You know, they're reliant on whistleblowers to improve the quality, you know, and to improve the minimum standards required for looking after people who are suffering, you know, like everyone in this ward is at the moment. There needs to be checks and balances because that keeps everyone safe. It keeps your sons and daughters safe. It keeps your fathers and mothers safe, your grandfathers and grandmothers safe. And for me, it's a red flag when people aren't able to hold their hands up and say, okay, I made a mistake. What can we do to make sure it doesn't happen again? You know, people who are overly concerned about patients protecting themselves. It almost makes me feel suspicious about like what they're trying to hide. Because if I was a worker, if I was doing my job, I would welcome the feedback and I'd welcome the recognition and I'd welcome the honesty and I'd welcome the transparency and I'd welcome the communication. And I wouldn't see that as a threat. I'd see that as a positive thing because it allows me to build up trust in the patient. It allows the patient to be able to communicate with me about what they need. It allows me to be recognised for my hard work, my service. And I'd see it as a good thing. I think encouraging the vulnerable in society to have a voice and to speak up about what their lived experiences, especially when they are behind closed doors, in enclosed spaces, in institutions like hospitals. I think it's good to have that open transparency, you know, almost like an open door policy, so that it's not all shrouded in mystery. But that's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. But all I do know is that institutional abuse does exist, and I'd rather put in preventative measures before it happens than for it to happen and then I have to spend years yet again trying to repair the damage. But like I say, that's just my humble opinion. and nobody else has to agree with me. They might think I'm barking up the wrong tree, but maybe they haven't experienced what I've experienced. You know, even today I heard a woman across the ward in pain because one of the nurses injected her and she said it was really painful. And I wasn't there and it felt wrong. But at the same time, I don't know, was she shouting out because she's just sensitive, or because the injection genuinely wasn't done properly, or there wasn't a chaperone? You know, patients like us shouldn't have to experience pain unless it's entirely necessary. You know, and I wasn't filming when that happened, so that's just what happened. And you know, I am here on my own, and I think I do have a right to protect myself. I am a mother. I have responsibilities for my son. I can't allow anything to happen to me. I've had enough that's happened to me over the last few years, and I'm trying to repair myself. I'm trying to heal. So I'm not going to apologise for making sure that I'm taking good care of myself and my safety and my health and what I need. You know, like for example, I asked for the Gaviscon 3 days ago because I've got really, really, really bad bloating issues, really bad indigestion issues. Everybody knows it. And then I find out today that it hadn't even been logged on the system. So it's like, I know you have to keep asking, but I mean, if that was me who'd done that, I'd have probably lost my job. It's those small things that are important. You know, the ascorbic acid I'm not so fussed about because that doesn't leave me in discomfort, but I am under gastroenterology here at the hospital. I have been for about 1.5 years. The note should be on my medical record that they've referred me for the colonoscopy, which means that they obviously deem that necessary based on my symptoms. So I don't think it's too much to ask for. When I'm being given codeine, which has, you know, GI side effects, to ask to be receiving something that counteracts that so that I'm like comfortable, so that I can sleep. But like I say, this isn't me complaining, this is just me giving the facts. And there's a difference between complaining and giving facts about giving feedback. That's not the same as complaining. I would always welcome feedback, always. If anybody had a grievance with something I'd said or done or anything, I'd always welcome that feedback. I'd always take it on board and listen and use it to improve and actually see it as a good thing that they're trusting me enough to open up and be honest with me. So you would expect from a big institution like this that it would be the same, you know, but so often I think as women, like we raise our standards and we have high standards, and then we are told that we're being bossy or we're complaining or we're being difficult or we're being too demanding. And I just think it's an insult to do that when there's people here with catheters, you know, people who've lost their health. I just think it should be encouraged that before it gets to that stage that you're allowed to be honest and quite frank and direct about what you are happy with and what you aren't. Because there's obviously going to be mistakes when you're dealing with lots of people, and there's obviously going to be areas of living in close proximity of others. There's usually going to be things you're not happy with, and speaking up is the best thing you can do to foster a positive environment, you know, where everyone responds to others with respect, you know. Like, I've welcomed everyone into this space, communicated with everyone, I've had no problems, and then there was just one worker who came in and I didn't like the way they spoke to me, and I said that, and I just said, I'm terminating this, please can you just go? And that's one example of me protecting myself. And then the site manager came over and spoke to me, and she wasn't telling me off, she was just like, one of the staff flagged that you weren't very happy earlier, and I explained what happened, and I just said I felt like I was accused of something that I wasn't doing, because I have an entitlement to protect myself. And we had a conversation, and I was open about it, and I said, you know, I'd not go around recording anybody's faces, and most of this is just me vlogging. I'm allowed to do that. I'm on my own here. Like I say, you haven't facilitated any visits at all. You know, my mum left. I don't know if she spoke to you on the way out or if you encouraged her to come back. I'm a vulnerable single mother. I haven't seen my son in weeks. I'm in a situation which most mothers wouldn't still be here for. So, but despite all of that, I'm willing to take on board the feedback, and I'm willing to listen, and I'm willing to develop and grow. And I go out of my way here to be polite to people. I'm saying thank you 1,000,001 times a second. I'm being softly spoken. Most of the time I'm not going into the corridor, I'm just ringing the bell. You know, I'm not asking to go out all the time. I'm not bringing in loads of food. I'm not having loads of visitors. I'm not asking for seconds. You know, I'm chatting to the staff where I can. Very friendly. And it's just, that's why I really, really find it upsetting when, if there's ever an occasion where I respond out of character, that then becomes the defining factor in how a group of people perceive me, rather than it being seen as, oh, that was out of character, I hope she's okay, let's check that she's all right, let's see what we can do to get her back to her usual cheery, kind, generous, compassionate self. Because this is my moment of need, and I've been there for enough people throughout my life. And I know all the women in this ward have as well. They've been there for people throughout their lives as well. They've had multiple children, husbands, and this is our moment of need. And we should really be able to trust that, in the same way we've helped countless people in our lives, that when we need others to help us, they will. Because that's what life's about. What goes around comes around. But anyway, that was the 7th day at St James's Hospital. Day 7 in the Ward 43 of the Lincoln Wing. I've just been in this little box all day. But it's been quite chill. I haven't even put any screens or radio on. And hopefully tomorrow there'll be some more movement, more progression forwards, more testing and scanning, just to try and resolve the hesitancy and the something intermittent stream that I'm experiencing due to a bladder infection. So hopefully that will be resolved in the next few days. And then it's back to my normal daily life, my weight loss journey, my motherhood journey, and that's it really. So that's it.
Hi, did you have a drink?
Hi, could I just have a tea, please? Okay, thank you.
And sugar?
Oh, no sugar, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, I want to nurse you. It's nice and glad to see you. None of that bad effect on the office. You want to get my push on my day. I want to get up. Glad to see you. You see the nurse hello and the pain and he was on pain relief.
Yeah, she's going later on.
But she should come with mine first. You mind her problems. Just take my bus to go on.
Alright.
I want to be.
I'll tell her.
It off.
Do you want a cup of tea?
Yeah, but why did you tell me about that?
I'll tell her.
So the nurse still listens to you.
I'll let her know.
No, she should know anyhow. I get it for 10 past 8, quarter past. No, it's nearly half past. Oh my God, what the life. I'll have a cup of tea, darling.
Yeah.
And a small half sugar. Not a big can. Don't make it too sweet. Oh my God. She's doing the round and she says, my painkillers, huh? Usually get his stuff before they go off. Now they're making a lap of it. But who's now again? Don't turn it off again, please.
I'll tell her. You don't have to press
Just,
it
no, I'm
again.
just telling her. She needs to see for herself. Got any nice biscuits?
I'll tell her to come to you.
Have you got any nice biscuits?
Yeah, I'll get you one now.
Tell her to come to me. She don't know what to come to me for.
What's that?
I'm in severe pain. I'm in severe pain.
I'll tell her.
My strong pain relief.
Okay. No worries.
20 minutes. Come to me now. I'm the little slaves. I can. Thank you, love. I can put up with it. We'll move everything. says she has to wait. Well, I won't have to wait. I see the doctor at 7 in the morning. You have to wait. Alright, okay. I won't have to wait, no way. I'm going to ask her. So every night, I have to get it regular at 8 o'clock. Now, but then I bet yes, I get this 10 past. No, that is a long time on it. It's in the light, but they can't do it anymore. It's in the- I'm not paying the bill. It's the pain. It's the pain, and that's all. It's the pain. Not tonight. And last night all over the. You know, that's 20 minutes. Maybe some more. Never let me. You know what I want about? Should have let me told you. She didn't let me anymore.
Yeah, let me finish that one.
Yeah, she should have let me if I should have seen it. Thank you. It's not the state. Not the state. That's the state, could be that one.
Oh, hi. I was just wondering if I could have some painkillers.
All right, I'll let the nurse know.
Thank you. I know I don't think I'm necessarily due codeine. Oh yeah, I know which button to press now. I don't think I'm due coding until a while, but if I am, then that, or if not, then
Oh, I
just
don't know.
yeah. Thank you.
Really, really hard, but that's it. Yeah. Really hard. Really hard. Let's see how much it's